What's going on, guys? Happy Wednesday. It's your boy, Crazy Babe, the son of God in the building. Getting ready to drop some quick value for you guys. Today's topic is going to be super, super valuable. And, the topic is actually going to be how the enemy attacks you, different ways the enemy attacks us, right? Different ways the devil attacks us if you're not aware of it, right? So this is going to be a really good video, so stay tuned and let's take some value from this, right? So some of the ways the enemy tends to attack us is through the screen of the image in our mind, right? He tends to attack us through the images, right? Through the thoughts, through our thinking, right? He tends to attack us. So that's one way we could be aware of when he tries to attack us, right? And when he does try to attack, what do you do, right? Do you have a tool ready? Do you have a weapon ready to defeat that attack, right? Do you have a tool, a weapon ready to defeat that attack, right? What are you gonna replace those negative thoughts with when the enemy attacks you, right? What are you gonna feed those images on the screen of your mind when the enemy tries to attack you, right? And this is something that I had to be aware of too, right? When he tries to attack, right? And he also tries to attack through the silent voices, right? You could also hear like his hot breath sometimes. And when you believe his lie is when you start to feel the discomfort and the fire within. So we got to be aware of the silent voices, right? We got to be aware of the discomfort of him speaking, right? So when he speaks, you might hear like a slight discomfort, like the heat of his hot breath. You could like feel it, right? And that's a way to understand, like, okay, that's the enemy's voice. That's the enemy's doing. And we got to stay away from that because that's not of God, right? When we have God and He talks to us, it's like a peaceful assurance. It's like a like it's a it's so peaceful. Like it's an alignment, right? You'll feel some type of peace about the situation you're going through. But the moment that it's not God's voice, you will feel some type of discomfort, that hot breath, and maybe you might feel like that heat, that fire, right? What's another one? He tries to attack us, right? He could also try to attack you through food temptations, through the flesh. He tries to attack you, right? And he also tries to attack you through maybe any other weakness of your life, right? That needs to be strengthened. He will try to attack you, right? He also tries to attack you through the drifting, overthinking, worrying, and double-minded, right? Anytime you feel like you're drifting off, right? That's his way of trying to get into your mind to cause a distraction, so you could be distracted of what you're trying to do, so he could to not so he could get you to not to focus, right? So you got to watch out for the overthinking, the drifting. These are things that I had problem with that I was aware of now that I'm able to correct and fix right on cue because why? I'm aware of the tactics, the overthinking, the drifting. Once you begin to drift, you're no longer in the present moment. You're moving away from God. You're drifting off, either going back into the past. When you go backwards, you go back with the devil. When you go forward, you go forward with God, right? So we got to be aware of what our minds is doing. When we drift off, right? So we got to, even it's okay if you do drift, but it's you have to be aware of it, right? And then you have to replace the drifting back to the present moment, right? You got to grab your attention. No, we're here. We're in the present moment, right? With God. So these are the things that you want to, be aware of when the enemy tries to attack. He will also try to get you to doubt and be fearful. That's just one of his great tools right there, to doubt and be fearful. Once you doubt, you're shutting your access off from God and what He's trying to do. And when you're fearful, God can't work because that's not of God. That's not of His law. You're crossing the boundaries and going into the enemy's playground. When you have fear and doubt, that's why nothing works for you, right? So we got to reject those fear and doubt, including me. I got to be more aware of it, and I'm grateful that I am becoming more aware of it, and I'm casting it out, right? I'm casting all of that stuff out, and you have the power to cast out all of this trash. But it only starts if you're aware of the thought. Once you're aware of the thought, right, and you can cast all that out, then what do you have? A clear mind. You have a clear mind, right? Um, so how else? So yeah, he's a god of lack. Satan is a god of lack, right? So he would try to get you to think lack, right? Not live in abundance. He would try to make you live in scarcity, right? This is the things that he tries to do. So we have to cast out that lack, right, and replace it with abundance, prosperity, right? And we just got to replace every little negative thing with something more positive, and we got to do it consistently to see the change that we want and to see a permanent mindset moving forward, a different change of life moving forward. Just got to stay consistent, all right? And this is how the enemy works. This is how it works. This is the cold-blooded truth. How he works, and I feel like God today, he wanted me to bring it to light to you guys, right? He's bringing it to light to me, so I got to share it with you guys as well, right? The drifting, overthinking, it has to stop. It has to stop, right? Including me. I gotta put my foot down a little bit more harder and just to be more aware of it when it tends to arrive, right? Because that's not of us. That's not who God created us to be. He didn't create us to be fearful, lack, drifting off and just living a life of not being in control. We are God's highest form of creation. We are created in his image, right? We serve the most powerful God on earth, the only one and only powerful God in earth, right? So if we have all of this power and strength, we got to start using it and start tapping into it and building that relationship. So that way we can stand for where God has taken us, right? I'm starting to understand this too on another level. Um, you know, allowing God to develop you. I'm gonna say that's for another topic, but I just don't want to get off of topic. But you know, being grounded in your faith and just rejecting everything else that's from the devil, right? We got to start rejecting those things and be aware of it. Sometimes we're not aware of it, including me. I wasn't aware of my limited belief system, my overthinking, my drifting. I wasn't aware of some of these things when it used to happen. So now I'm like, okay, let me just take a step back, let me examine what's going on in my mind, what's happening, what thought, what led to this, right? And as I begin to do that, I'm beginning to see, okay, I drifted there. Okay, what can I do next time if I drift off? Oh, I could just bring my attention right back to the present moment instead of me drifting off and going down a steep hill, or going down a hole that I don't want to go down to, right? How can I pivot, right? And then I notice, oh, present moment. If I'm drifting, present moment. If I'm worrying, cast it out, present moment with God, right? Cast the worrying out to God. God, thank you, God, for fixing my worry thinking, right? Thank you for having me think abundantly and clear now, right? These are the things that we have to be aware of, because if we're not aware of it, then who's in control? Is either a God, is either you're in control with God, right, or you letting the devil control your mind. So we don't want to do that. We want to be aware, and we want to become 1% better, because at the end of the day, we put too much work into ourselves. We only live once. Our time is running out. Our time is running out, right? And we got to be aware of his tactics, of how he tries to steal, kill, and destroy. He's the father of all lies. So he's going to try to steal, kill, and destroy, and try to deteriorate you and pull you away from your dreams and goals, right? I was listening to something, and they were saying, like, in the mind, like, when you try to go for abundance and prosperity in your dreams and goals, Satan tends to think that that's his territory, right? He tends to think that's his territory and that he has control over that. Once I heard that, that fueled my fire. And that's when I begin to step into who God called me more. Because I'm like, wait, hold on. If God created me, then you don't have no control or power over me. Matter of fact, get out the way. Get out the way. Like, I'm gonna live for who God called me to be, not for who you want me to be or for who you trying to make me to be. Nah, I'm running this play with God because God created this earth. I'm gonna serve the Creator who created this whole thing. You feel me? So he doesn't have that territory. He doesn't have that territory. He gonna try. He's all raw, no bite. He's all raw, no bite. I guarantee if you raw, if he raws, you raw back. I guarantee you gonna flee, right? And this is the things that we have to do. We gotta fight for what we. Cowards don't inherit the kingdom. Cowards don't inherit the kingdom of God. Cowards don't inherit the kingdom of God. And I begin to understand, like, okay, God is just testing us. Through the devil, He would send the devil to test us to see where we're at, right? And I'm at peace about that because I switch my perspective and I know that God is testing me. Okay, I need you to come up higher and drifting. I need you to stop that, right? I need you to stay present. In order to get to the promised land, I need you to stay present. I don't need you looking back, right? That's another thing. He would try to get you to look back too. The devil would try to get you to look back, to go backwards, because misery loves company, right? So we got to stay rooted and grounded moving forward. And that's all God is testing us to see where we need to come up higher in, to expose where we need to come up higher up in, right? And these little areas. And once we begin to come up higher in these areas, we begin to transform. And God develops the plan and gives it to us. He gives us the secrets, the hidden secrets, right? That's lies within us, right? That we have access to Him, but it's only gonna happen if we sacrifice and if we are aware and mending our gardens, right? This is the things that we have to do. It's gonna take work, but you know, it's your mind. At the end of the day, it's your life. Most importantly, you know. So I hope you guys took a lot of value today from this topic, and I hope you guys could implement it, learn something, implement it consistently in order to see the results. But yeah, with that being said, happy Thursday. Excuse me, happy Wednesday. It's your boy, Crazy Faith of God. Nothing but love. Let's grow.